All right. So, Mr. Brickhouse, we have an article that you've shared with me. Do you want to give me a little primer for this one?
Yeah, right. So apparently in, I think Australia is it, once upon a time, until very recently, if you were disabled, the government, as part of your welfare package, would pay for you to get handy J's and other special favors. And apparently the government, for whatever reason, shut off funding for that.
So do we know why they were funding that in the first place? Is that supposed to like reduce sexual crimes? I guess is something I'm allowed to say.
Well, they're already disabled. What the fuck are they going to do? Like, let's be honest.
You know what? This is kind of a little tangent here, but I have worked with a few people who had severe developmental disabilities, and I've never seen hornier people in my life. So it doesn't like shock me. When I worked at Tower Records, we had to kick this guy out who was like clearly severely mentally disabled, and he would like chomp on his own hand, and he would just keep like repeating these like certain catchphrases that he had. Actually, once we had kicked him out once, I told him, you're 86, you gotta go. And that became one of his catchphrases. So when I would walk up to him, I was like a supervisor at Tower Records for a while, and he was harassing ladies in the store, so we had to kick him out. And I told him, man, no, you gotta go, you're 86. And he's like, am I? I'm 86? And he got like excited. And from then on, when I was coming up to kick him out, because he knew what he was doing to some level, he would get excited when I walk up and he'd be like, am I 86? And I'd be like, yeah, you are. And he would just leave. Like, he wasn't like that much of a problem, but there seems to be something with like being unable to suppress those like base urges associated with not having like a fully developed mental emotional system.
Okay. Well, then we already ran into a problem that we have to define before we continue this conversation.
Okay.
Because when they say, disabled, as you brought to our attention, I mean, that's a pretty broad scope there. I was more thinking of like, dude without legs, stapled his jeans in an upward position, in a wheelchair, in a colostomy bag. I mean, is he going to be a top threat? I mean, maybe that wheelchair is equipped with things we can only imagine, right?
Well, he's also, if you're in a wheelchair, you're at a different societal level vertically, right? Like, you're down there upskirting, swatting
you're already
asses.
where you need to be.
Yeah, sniffing. Like, who knows? Now I'm picturing Lieutenant Dan like, catching a little as he goes by.
Oh, that's foul, man.
Oh, Lieutenant Dan, no.
But
Okay,
true. I mean, it brings up some valid concerns here, but I don't think that's why they were doing it. I think it's just one of those, for lack of better words, leftist spending spree type of programs where somebody,
so
I'm sure, is
it comes from
making
a position of like having a bleeding heart. You're like, well, people on welfare deserve to have prostitutes too, I guess, is like where it's coming from. Dude, what about the prostitutes though? Man, like at the very least, if you're a prostitute,
maybe they're getting paid very well. Maybe they're getting paid very well, but maybe it was like this whole system of everybody getting paid very well.
Oh, like SNAP,
the taxpayer
it's EBT
was funding.
SNAP, but for, for ladies of the night, let's say. So assuming you're a member of the oldest profession on earth, and even if you get paid relatively well, like to me, okay, so if that's your profession, you can at least hope that the people you're being involved with had to have earned their own money somehow. So they must go to work somewhere. Hopefully that means they shower from time to time. But if it's people who have no obligations and nothing forcing them into any kind of cleanliness, like, oh man, I feel like that's such a bummer for, obviously if you're...
Oh man, I'm about to blow the lid off this whole operation, okay?
Oh, no.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Think of it this way. They funnel in people that are so disabled, that are so not there, right? They can't even lift their arms. They're probably not even conscious, as you and I would describe it.
Okay.
And these ladies of the night, if you will, don't even have to perform anything, right? It's just a money laundering, money scamming, money whatever you want to call it, scheme.
So you think they don't have to even touch them? Like they just do a little like dance or something, and that like does
I'm just
the job?
saying that's how I would structure it. I mean, that's one way to get money. I mean, this is all allegedly. I have no proof.
Well, all right, let's look at the
that's
the
how I would
article
scam
that
the
we've
system.
got. So,
okay, looking at that, dude, never mind. I just recant everything I just said.
see, I feel like this guy, is he in a chair? I think he is in a chair. For over a month now, people with a disability, it just says with a disability, have been unable to use NDIS funding for seeking professional worker services. Lived experience advocates, the fuck is a lived experience advocate? Say it's a step backward.
But why? But still, yeah, as you questioned at the very beginning, why exactly would a taxpayer be convinced to fund this? Food is one thing, right? Unemployment is another thing, but getting handy J's, why am I funding that?
Wait, this is from 2024. Okay, so this was last year's November. Disgusting misuse of funds and abuse of vulnerable women. Okay, that's a whole nother argument to make, but yeah.
But I mean,
I could see
I don't know if that's abuse in that sense. I don't know if it's legal over there, that type of work. But I mean, they would be signing up for this. This is not like a forced type of thing, right?
Right, but I think the larger argument is that if that type of work is available and legal in that area, then like some people might feel obligated to do it as like the most, because that's the best way to make money. And so from like a moral
but then the money,
especially in a Christian nation, like I can
but I mean,
see
I guess
how
the money
argument
would reflect it, right?
Right, but
like
no, but the suggestion
forced.
here is that you shouldn't, like, you should be able to have an equal opportunity to get a job at McDonald's that pays as well, I guess, as laying on your back. And I think the suggestion here is that if you can get a job with your feet up that pays, because it pays that well, women might feel like, oh, that's the best opportunity for me. But like then again, yeah, you could obviously just choose less money and go work at McDonald's and work your way up. So yeah, from a literal standpoint, nobody's being forced. But I think if I'm trying to put myself in like a more liberal mindset, I guess it's the suggestion, which is crazy because it's also the liberal mindset that that kind of work is meant to be like revered or respected just like normal work, which is fucking crazy too. But so I don't even know which group it is that has this kind of point where it says this is the abuse of vulnerable women. Maybe I need to look more into that, because to me that I would think that would be like a very left-leaning concept to say women who choose to be in that line of work are being abused by it. Like
I figured it out actually. And I think they need to give me a job, because I believe this is an opportunity for AI and robotic handy J cybernetics to come into play here, and everybody wins, especially me if I get funded to implement it.
The actual only use for AI. Dude, I would not want to be involved in that, because then you'd have to like put different, like imagine the coding back on that and be like, okay, foot fetish is like, you know, a 21%
it's all good. I
of our
outsourced
player
that to
base.
India. All right, I outsourced the coding to India. They don't give a shit about any of that. I mean,
apparently they do give a shit. They love shit, but that was a different video. Okay.
There you go. It goes hand in hand.
Oh,
no pun intended.
That was another one that I wanted to talk about. So they made this AI robot. Have you seen this? They claim that it's an AI robot, but it's really people in India wearing a VR headset to manipulate the robot. It's fucking wild.
Jesus.
That new like viral video that went around of this like the first home companion, which is this freaky looking like round faced robot. Turns out it's not AI at all. It doesn't do anything on its own. It's entirely controlled by people being paid tiny amounts to wear VR headsets in India. But that's another one. We'll have to get into that. It's a different topic. That one's fucking crazy.
Wonder how they're going to use that to scam people. They're probably going to use that robot to like look up your like
he's in your house.
PIN number or passwords. Yeah, exactly.
He's going to hear your conversations. Like, it's insane. The lack of security is completely insane. Okay. This guy is disappointed with the NDIS funding for sexual services being cut. This guy was happy.
That's the first thing I believe coming from this article.
Right.
All right. Exactly. That's the first thing I believe.
Okay. For many national disability insurance scheme, they literally call it a scheme. That's funny. For many of the participants, a federal government decision means they can no longer access laying down services funding under the system, or they could risk financial pressure. Wait, for many? So not even all? Okay. Sydney Sider, that's his name? Oh no, they're saying he's from the town of Sydney. Oh my God, dude, Australians. Okay. Sydney Sider, Oliver Morton Evans, says that this decision has been deeply disappointing for many who live with a disability, including himself. Now, only those who are financially well off in the disability community can afford this service by paying out of pocket. God forbid. One of the most common stereotypes that Mr. Morton Evans comes up against is the assumption that people with a disability are not sexual beings. Dude, can you not find a nice girl with a disability or a girl with a kink about disabilities and just do it the old-fashioned way? What the fuck? What is this premise that you deserve access to professional women? Okay. I have to see if this exists anywhere else. Like, are there other super woke countries or places that like let people use government aid to engage with, ladies of the night? God, it's so hard to talk about.
But this makes a lot of sense about why that country is receiving so many immigrants. You probably heard about the disability handy J's.
Okay, he knows firsthand. What he knows firsthand, though, is that intimacy and sex can be integral to identity and happiness for all humans. Intimacy. They are referring to professional transactional coitus as intimacy. Dude, these people are fucking cooked in more ways than being stuck in a chair. My God. Throughout times in his life, Mr. Morton Evans has sought the services of workers. He has described it as an overall enriching experience. Okay, let's see what the consequences are.
I think what's wild is just the window dressing on things like this. You know what I mean?
Oh. Well, so for me, what I see as the window dressing is like they're showing this dude in a chair who clearly does not look like fully abled. And we're supposed to be like, man, isn't it a damn shame that he can't use your tax money?
They're making it sound like they're withholding food to the needy, right? Or kicking orphans, right?
Look at the only...
let's call it what it is. Somebody's getting free handy J's and he's pissed that he's not getting it anymore. I guess I would be too if I was confined to a wheelchair. Living off of free handy J's, but,
Well, yeah, so he's not living off of the free handy J's, right? But somebody is.
To be fair, he may be.
True, he could be selling them, like the tokens or whatever. But what I was thinking is that there are going to be shops.
Tokens? Wait, what?
I don't know how you.
Well, he's got free handy J NFTs. What is going on?
So I was thinking of a food stamp, but a sex stamp. It wouldn't be basically. You get like a little book of them in the mail. You get like 10 a month, and you're like, oh man, do I really want to use them up right now? Like I've been in.
I got 5 really handy J stamps and 1 rimmer.
Right? Yeah. Well, no, you can't get a rimmer because who's gonna lift him out of the fucking chair? Come on.
Hey, that's what technology is for, all right?
That
maybe
was
cut a hole at the bottom. Maybe use a crane. Maybe use an AI device, right? There's plenty of opportunity for money making here.
So he added that many people feel that the NDIS funding cut is pretty galling. We strongly feel that people with a disability need that access to intimacy, pleasure, and sexuality like everybody else. Bro, you can still date. This is insane. This premise that like because you have some disability means you can't do anything else in your life and you need to be catered to blows me away. I have known people that were like potato shaped, like I don't know what does that to a person, but very clearly this person had some level of disability because like they were all fucking malformed, for lack of a better word. I know this because I worked with this person. They were my supervisor at Tower Records, and they actually like taught me how to do the money counting in the money counting room. So I had to spend a lot of nights just hanging out with this person, talking shit and counting money. And then this person, asked me to meet them for a drink when they like confessed their affection for me. And I had to turn them down, and I said, "You're like a sister to me." And she cried, and she immediately pulled out her phone. We had flip phones back then. This is way back. And she called a friend of hers while I was sitting at the table. She was openly crying, called her friend and said, "He said I'm like a sister to him." So this is why I have this so fresh in my mind. It's like, this is a real life experience that I went through. So this person with this disability was able to be my supervisor at Tower Records. They worked a job. Now they were not wheelchair bound, but they were not like freely mobile. They weren't doing any fucking cartwheels. And like huge credit to that person, by the way. They shot their shot with a only slightly disabled person, me. So they were perfectly capable of existing within like the sexual marketplace. I have no doubt that there's somebody with like that specific kink that probably thinks that person's super attractive. But you know, I'm a very
Look,
tall...
I think what it boils down to, and I agree with you, right? There's somebody for everybody, as they say, right? But I mean, I guess these people got addicted and used to just free handy J's. Why would you want to give that up, right? I think that's what it boils down to.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
That's what happens when you give people free shit.
Exactly.
Non-stop.
Now they're not going to... They have signs when you go to parks that say, "Don't feed the fucking birds," because then they'll become dependent on human feeding and won't learn to fend for themselves.
Imagine if you give those birds free handy J's every day.
I don't have to imagine. I've had some free Thursday nights. But like that's basically what we're talking about, is that these people are now going to say, why would I ever try to seek real intimacy? I have, pseudo intimacy that is better than, there's no downside to this paid intimacy. Well, I mean, theoretically. But when you're actually going out and trying to find a relationship, that kind of sad outcome can happen where the person you're interested in is not interested in you. You have to get shot down. People from my generation, that was our whole lives. Like, you just got shot down all the fucking time, and that was just totally normal. You went to a bar, you got shit on all day, every day, and then like once a year, somebody would say yes, and you could buy them a drink and maybe get a date or whatever. I'm sure if you're much better looking than I am and you're in much better like physical shape, you probably had a far higher success rate. But for us fucking dirty plebs that just, dressed in our normal clothes, didn't fucking buy cologne to go to the bar or whatever, it was mostly miss. Like 499 misses to one hit. So I don't know how batting averages work. I think it's out of 1,000, but whatever 2 out of 1,000 was like the actual normal batting average for, I would say, a pretty normal dude going out and trying to get a date. The fact that people think that they're like owed a way around that they can just skip like having to get into a relationship is batshit crazy to me. And you're missing out on like the major developmental part of your life that lets you talk to other members of society. That's one of the like great shared human experiences, is being shot down or trying to find a partner. I can't imagine just being like, nah, fuck it. I don't have to try to find a partner. I have professionals. Not to say nothing of the fact that that's going to impact your ability to find a partner. If you roll up to some sexy wheelchair girl who's like got the exact same like disabilities as you guys have a ton in common, you can like relate to each other's thing, and maybe, you can help each other out because you can just have one caretaker that can do both of you or whatever. You're going to roll up to her and she's going to find out that you've been going to professional Andy J handouts 10 times a month, and you're going to blow it right there. Like, nobody's going to want to be with a guy who has like a full-time relationship.
Everything you're talking about just takes effort, right?
Hold up. Okay, I just scrolled down a bit. Hang on. But you're right. It's exactly that, is nobody wants to put in effort. And more than that, I think people are so cowardly nowadays. Maybe that's too broad of a generalization, but I think there seems to be a larger portion of the population who just are completely risk averse. Like they're just never gonna risk getting shut down like they've seen people get shut down in animes, or they've
but
like
I think
maybe
that's
one
how
time
people
at
are
school.
raised nowadays too, right? Risk averse. And I mean, when you're getting workarounds for free, I mean, why would you ever possibly want to do anything else, right? And risk getting shot down, and risk having to do this, and risk having to go out your house, risk having to spend money. right? Just skip it and give me the 5 Handy J food stamps, and keep
Yeah, exactly.
rolling, right? Rolling down the street with a wheelchair.
Maybe they do house calls too. Sex worker.
Well, I'm sure that dude is not rolling up into a mobile brothel, right? I'm pretty sure they make house calls. I mean,
I would
paid for
assume.
by the taxpayer.
I mean, it's, ladies of the night in my growing up experience was you could drive down to certain streets and they'd all be lined up on the street, but then you took them home to your house. And I would assume
but in
that
this
the higher
country
priced
it's legal,
ones,
right? We're
right,
talking
exactly.
about a country where it's
they could
already
just get
legal.
a call, charge your PayPal or whatever, or your government funding, and then probably just drive on over. Bro, this blows my mind.
God, can you imagine if something like this were to come to the United States, knowing how SNAP benefits and EBT are used?
Yeah. No, dude, I have no doubt. I mean, I even saw people selling SNAP benefits for 60 cents on the dollar so that they could convert it to cash so that they could buy whatever they wanted with it. So I'm sure this is happening already. But I just wanted to read out this little caption here where it says, sex worker Nova Hawthorne believes the ban will limit choices and could affect the quality of life for those who seek sex work services. For those
they are getting paid well. I can tell you right now, they were getting paid well.
Right.
To make statements like that.
Well, the fact that they have to clarify it's going to limit choices and could affect the quality of life for people who already get free Handy J's. A, no shit, but B, it's just limiting their choices. So it's not even they can't keep getting them. It's just that they can't come, they won't have as many options as when they do it.
They actually got to pay.
Yeah, and then that means that they can still use their government benefits for other things. If you're getting government benefits, just pay for your fucking food with that and then take a little bit of leftover money for the handies. What the fuck? People with disability are sexual beings. Oh man, I'm gonna get that tattooed.
I hate when people just refer to everything as sexual beings, because that's the same type of disgusting rhetoric they use to excuse more
minor attracted
even
persons.
more some very unsavory horse shit that should be not referred to like that at all, ever.
We get clients from all genders, diverse backgrounds, and ages. I wish they had said legal ages there. We often help older people, like those in their 70s or 80s, be matched with a sex worker.
Dude, you're in your 80s, man.
He finds that work highly gratifying. Okay. Martin can't access NDIS funding for his physical disabilities, so he bought a wheelchair secondhand. Oh, I thought that was related to this article. I was like, hold on. Did this guy buy himself a wheelchair just for these handies?
I think we've been
all right
on this news too long. I think it's affecting our brains.
I agree. Okay. So final thoughts.
The American mind cannot comprehend this.
All right, so final thoughts on these poor people who can no longer get the free Handy J's. What do you think they should do?
As you said, I'm pretty sure they're still getting enough welfare to pay for their food and actual necessities. So just save some whatever you got. I don't know, sell a spare wheelchair tire, whatever you got to do if this is what you want, right? Because this is not a necessity. I'm sorry.
I would say, if anything, that funding should go towards setting up, dating sessions.
No, I wouldn't even go that far, but.
Well, I mean, if you want to make sure that people have access to intimacy and that kind of quality of life thing, instead of saying we'll pay for your free Handy J's, you could just be like, okay, everyone who qualifies, we're going to pay for you to 2 nights a month. You can all go out, have free drinks, have a chaperoned event where everyone can kind of mingle with other people who also have these things. Because if you want to meet a person who's not disabled, you can just go. But if for whatever reason you feel like you've got to play in this disability realm and you only want to engage with other people like that, even so, the government can assist with that. They don't have to be providing sex work. It is my thought. But all right. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I feel informed, enlightened. Another great episode in the can.
Keep it up with Mr. Jackson. with Mr. Jackson.